Now that our resources are live, let's try to establish connection between different pods and see if that works. In our earlier chapters, we've seen that the pods are assigned with IP address automatically. We'll try and reach these pods using their IP address. Remember that we have modified the default index page of all these pods. Therefore, when we reach the middleware pod, it should simply display the text middleware, and that proves that we are able to reach the pod. First, we'll try and reach the middleware pod from the web app pod to see if that produces the desired result. So if you could look at the command, here, the subcommand, we are simply trying to get the IP address of the middleware pod. So I'm just trying to execute that, and it fetches the result. And once it has the IP address, it's going to simply curl the IP address. So this is something that we have already discussed in our earlier chapters. And what we are doing different here is we are trying to execute that curl command from within the web app pod within the front-end namespace. So simply we're trying to connect from the web app pod in the front-end namespace to reach the middleware pod within the middleware namespace. All I'm going to do is simply copy this command and execute this in the terminal. And as you could see, it produced the middleware text as an output. So just to show that in a visual representation to test of the test that we have just done, that indicates the web app pod from the front-end namespace is able to reach the middleware pod within the middleware namespace. So that's what we have just done. And now let us connect the MySQL pod from the middleware pod. And if the connection works, it should print the custom text as backend. So I'm simply going to copy this command, paste and execute that. And you can clearly see it works. And coming back to our visual representation, so just to indicate what we have just done. So we have completed testing the connection between the middleware pod to the MySQL pod. And let's do this connection from the web app pod directly to the MySQL pod. And it still shows backend, which means backend, just the MySQL pod is now responding. Coming back to our visual representation. So we have now tested the connectivity between the web app and the MySQL pods. It works. So far, we have covered the outgoing traffic from the web app and the middleware pods. Now let's cover the incoming traffic. Let's try and reach the middleware pod from the MySQL pod. I'm just copying this, running the command, and it displayed the middleware as a response. And coming back to our visual representation. So we have proved that MySQL pod is able to communicate with the middleware pod. And back to our lab exercise, and we're going to do two more stuff. This time we're trying to reach the middleware pod, reach the web app pod from the middleware pod. And it's producing the front end as the output. Coming back to our visual representation. So we just tried to reach the web app from the middleware pod, and we have tested this connection. That works fine. And finally, let's reach the web app pod from the MySQL pod by running the last command in this list now. And it produces the front end output. So this demonstrates that we can establish connections between any pods in any namespace across the entire cluster. So the same is true if all these pods coexist in the same namespace, or even if it's spread across different nodes that form a cluster. Since we'll be testing these commands or connections every time we apply a network policy, I have put together a quick shell script to automate the process. It instantly checks all connections and generates a report, saving us from having to run these commands manually every time. All you have to do is simply click on this validate-connectivity.sh to execute this script, and it runs a quick test and produces user-friendly output, something that looks like this. As you can see, it quickly validated all the connections. The connection from front-end namespace, web app pod, to the middleware pod, namespace, middleware pod is successful. And the command that it used to, do this check. The same for all the 6 different scenarios that we have covered. So for this demo, we've used a single container pod. This is perfect baseline for testing how network policies actually work. However, keep in mind that in the real world, you'll often see multi-container pods. A classic example is the Sidecar pattern, where a secondary container handles the tasks like logging or monitoring right alongside your main application. In these multi-container setups, the containers are roommates. They share the exact same network namespace. This means they can share the IP address, ports, and MAC address. Because they are so tightly coupled, they can talk to each other instantly over the local host. But here's the bigger picture. As we've seen in this action, that Kubernetes follows a flat network design. Any pod in your cluster can talk to any other pod simply by using its IP address, making the connectivity easy. It also creates a massive security risk. If an attacker exploits a vulnerability in a single public-facing pod like your web app pod at the front-end namespace, they aren't trapped there. Without restrictions, they have a green light to move laterally across your entire cluster. This is exactly where the network policies come into play. They allow us to move away from open by default and towards a zero trust security model. In this exercise, we have created pods in different namespaces like front-end, middleware, and backend, and demonstrated that we're able to communicate freely with every other pod without any restriction by default. In our next session, we'll have a look at CNI or container network interface and the role they play in the cluster networking. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next.